The theme today is compassion. Compassion, forgiveness as compassion. Lily Tomlin said this of forgiveness. Forgiveness means giving up all hope of a better past. Forgiveness of others is a blasting of obstacles to my own experience of unconditional love. Because where I am holding resentments of others is usually hidden resentment of my own unforgiven shadow. Forgiveness is reciprocal. It is a circle of compassion. And here I'm bringing out the big guns, Matthew 6:14. For if you forgive others their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you do not forgive others, neither will the Father forgive you your trespasses. Sounds sort of like a transaction there. Mr. Eckhart, and he doesn't think of it as a transaction. If I forgive you, then I will be forgiven. It might work that way internally, but I think that's not really what the highest interpretation is. The fullest work that God ever worked in any creature is compassion. The most secret and forbidden work that God ever worked on the angels was carrying them to compassion. This is the work of compassion, as it is of itself, and as it is in God. Whatever God does, the first outburst is always compassion. I do not mean that God forgives a person his sins, or that a person takes pity on another. I mean much more. I mean that the highest work that God ever works is compassion. Mr. Eckhart. Welcome to Sheltering Grace, a sound meditation for renewable caring of our one wild and precious life. This is my 86th day of doing these sound meditations, Wednesday through Sunday. It's brought to you by myself, Reverend Elizabeth Hager, and San Francisco Unity. Today I'm continuing this new series for the stewards of caring in the world, doing the essential work of giving a damn on the planet and of caring for ourselves and others. This is dedicated to people who daily put love into action. Those working stiffs in service of all kinds, our essential workers, family caregivers, the pros in healthcare, the nurses, the aides, and the carers of all kinds who move us, who are essential to a world worth living in. The pandemic taught us this, and the problems of judging by appearance and not loving the world as it is. The essential work here on the planet is to care for ourselves and others, for our friends and strangers, and for our planet. This is what Richard Rohr says of love. There is a love which in itself has the power to free the human heart. Whoever arrives at this place looks at the world differently. The distinctions on the surface no longer exist. Love does not come as theory. It moves in bodies, in nature, in the ground beneath us, in sound, in the space between us, in the silence. True love is not emotional. It is a different nature, waiting in us like a secret seed. This is the truth we all must find. This is the truth we all must find. The profound problems of our inner and outer world will be solved by love, and by love alone, by forgiveness and by compassion. Our practice here is one of process, an evolution, of listening better to that inner wisdom of love, and then speaking it into the world. It is a conversation with the holy, our conversation. It is my series on wise selfishness, and for our wild and precious life. The Dalai Lama said that of self-care. That was his term, wise selfishness. And there's a trinity here. My new trinity is this. The first is to use it all. but just one thing at a time. We affirm the sweet small step of effort. The second is to accept this day as it is, whatever satisfaction, whatever sorrow, whatever joy it brings. And the third is my mission is to offer inspiration for balance. That sustainable care is a circle of ourselves and equally of others, to stay open, to receive, and to bloom as wise gardeners of our lives and of this world. And we use sound to sort of slip under. Sound is received on the right brain. It sort of slips under the logical brain, so we can use it as a conduit to that deeper place, to shift us back to center when words fall back. With sound, we can ping the anchor of the universe within ourselves. So I'm going to do some readings, and then we will set our intention, and then we will begin. I read a little bit of Richard Rohr today. I also read something by Matthew Fox's book, the Meditations with Mistard Eckhart, a centering book. And there's also a reading from Daily Word today about forgiveness. So, what is your intention today for forgiveness? Our AA friend says, holding resentments is like taking poison and expecting the other person to die. So where are you holding unforgiveness today? Let's take a few bells and decide what your intention today is for letting that go. Forgive, Daily Word. As I forgive, I free myself and others from the bondage of past mistakes. I forgive not because others deserve it, but because I do. I deserve the love of God, and forgiveness allows it to flow through me. A great weight is lifted from me, mentally and emotionally, as I release my attachment to old resentments and embrace my divinity. Casting my obstacles and burdens aside, I am free to fulfill my highest expression and to be of service to others. I am grateful for this opportunity to release and let go. Let's take that into our meditation today. Take our first breath of gratitude. Breathe it in through the heart. Breathe it in. Let it light you up. Let it fill you up. And exhale. Letting go of all that has come before. Any resentment that you're willing to let go of. Let's take another breath. Breathe it in through the heart. Breathe it in. Let it cleanse you. And let it go. Forgiveness and breathing, it's a practice. Let's practice together. Another breath. This time, scan your body. Any place you have an obstacle, any place that hurts. It's a story. Listen to that story. When our next breath, when you breathe it in, send the sound and send that breath to the place that needs a little more love this morning. Breathe it in through the heart. Breathe it in. sending it to your body, to your mind, and to your spirit. Anything that needs a little more love this morning. You have the power. Breathe in compassion. Let any resentment you can go. You don't need it. And if you find yourself drifting off into the story, gather yourself back with all the love that you have, back to center, back to source. Forgiveness is reciprocal. It's a circle of compassion. It's the fullest work that God has ever worked in any creature, is forgiveness and compassion. The most secret and forbidden work that God ever worked on angels was carrying them to compassion. This is the work of compassion. as it is in itself, as it is in God. Whatever God does, the first outburst is always compassion. I do not mean that God forgives a person his sins, or that a person takes pity on another. I mean much more. I mean that the highest work that God ever works is compassion. Let's think about that we're worthy of that compassion. And we receive it, slipping underneath that left brain of judgment, receiving directly into the heart, through the sounds of beauty, through the sounds of the rain, the cleansing rain. We receive and we breathe. If you find yourself drifting away from the center, breathe yourself back to here and to now, to beauty and compassion, always available here. The fullest work that God ever worked in any creature is compassion. The most secret and forbidden work that God ever worked on angels was carrying them into compassion. This is the work of compassion, as it is in itself, as it is in God. Whatever God does, the first outburst is always compassion. I do not mean that God forgives a person his sins, or that a person takes pity on another. I mean much more. I mean that the highest work that God ever works is compassion. Let's take that into our hearts. We remember this place of breath, this place of reset, of unconditional love, where we savor each breath like the first one, letting go of anxiety, embracing Source, found here in this place. We allow this infinite process to simply do its perfect work in us. We are the gardeners of our lives. We remember this ground. I'm going to end with Hafez, a 13th century Sufi poet. Plant so that your own heart will grow. Sing because this is the food the starving world needs, our starving world needs. Laugh because it is the purest sound. Be the encouraging light we seek. With every breath, open again. Thank you so much for joining me today in this second series on the caregivers of the world and how we need to restore ourselves, how we need to renew ourselves. Thank you for joining me. Have a beautiful day, whether it's raining or not. Blessings.